Lesson 8.2 Video 4. This example has us do the same questions as we did in the previous example, but without a graph. So we're going to create a graph as we go. Line of symmetry. As stated before, it's good to find out, or at least write down, what the A values, or the A value is, the B and the C values as well. So in this case, we have an A value of a -1. Again, remember, this is in standard form, which allows us to take properly the A, B, and C from it. B is -8, and C is -13. So the formula for the line of symmetry is x equals -b over 2a. So the opposite of b, and b is -8, over 2 times a, which is -1. The opposite of -8 is a +8. 2 times -1 is a -2, and that reduces down to -4. So on our graph that we're creating, we find -4 for x, and that is our line of symmetry. That should go down the middle of our parabola. And that helps us now because the vertex is a coordinate that has, for the x value, the same value as your line of symmetry. So that will be -4, and that's why our line of symmetry goes through our vertex, or in other words, our vertex is on our line of symmetry. So how do you find the y? Well, we take -4 and we plug it into our function. Just like a table, an xy table, we're plugging in a value and we want to see what y we get out. So -4 squared is 16, but there's a negative on the outside, so it becomes a -16. 8 times 4, both negatives, gives you a +32 minus 13, which in turn gives you 3. So that's the y value of our vertex. So on our graph that we're creating, we go to the left 4 and up 3. And that is our vertex. Now, as we said before, when our A is positive, the parabola opens up. When our A is negative, and in this case it is, it's going to open downward. So this will be a maximum. Next question is find the y-intercept. If you remember, the y-intercept means x is equal to 0. So if we go to back to our function and plug 0 in for x, we get zeros across the board except for the constant. So the y-intercept is -13. Now this graph will be small, but the y-intercept would be right there. Now we're not asked to graph the parabola. We're not asked to solve the parabola. We're just asked to find these things. But I can tell you that since the line of symmetry goes down the middle, then the distance from here, from the line of symmetry to that y-intercept would be the same the other direction. Otherwise it's not symmetrical. But we'll get to that later. And this ends Lesson 8.2 Video 4.